I kind of had an epiphany about this. With the amount of money that we pay our teachers, at least here in the United States, I can understand why men would avoid like getting into teaching. I mean, think about all the things that you have to do. You have to actually be learned on a particular subject. Then you've got to learn how to teach. You've got to have teaching credentials, and it requires a lot of money to go into your education just to be a high school teacher, just to be a middle school teacher, just to be able to like teach history or to teach any other than mathematics and probably your coach. You're probably not going to have a male teacher when you're in high school. I would argue that the male teachers that you have are probably either teaching what was, like a physical science maybe, or but for the most part, your teachers are going to be female, because that seems like a good idea. It's like men don't want to get into teaching for a lot of reasons. One of them is it's very low paying. And then the other part of it is that, men are looking for prestige. I mean, like who would want to date a male teacher? Right? I mean, you're lucky if you're going to turn $50,000. The only way to make money, by the way, in public education here in the United States is to get into administration, not teaching. So, you teach for a little while and then hope you get to be the principal of the school at some point. It's a labor of love. It's a personal thing, because we're not paying teachers nearly as much as we should be to educate the future generations. I'm going to show you why that is here. So when you look at the disincentives, let's say, for teaching, men are not going to want to get involved in that. And I know you're going to say this. Well, the disincentives of it is that it's not like, remember we talked about money, muscles, and status. It's not a high status job. It's not a high paying job. So men are probably more likely to avoid that. And yes, I will address this as well, as like a lot of guys don't want to run the risk of getting into being the only man in an all female teacher school. So when you have, and for a lot of reasons, right? For sexual harassment, for whatever it is, impropriety, I don't care what it is. If that guy does not toe the party line, if he's not a male feminist, he doesn't get along with the ladies in the lunchroom. And imagine going through all those years of college and paying all that money to get that degree and to get your teaching credentials and everything else just to lose your job and your career for some false accusation or from even just suspicions. So it doesn't really make much sense. That's a problem, though, because we need male teachers. We need men in education now more than ever. So when guys complain about how we have, the universities are chock full of socialists and feminists. Yeah, of course they are, because it's only women that it appeals to. Yeah, when you're paid like $40,000 a year or $36,000, I don't know what the starting salary is for a high school teacher, and it's largely women that it appeals to, and they get into that. Yeah, of course they are. Communism sounds pretty good when you're only making, $36,000 a year. We should all. And so the reason I'm harping on this right now is because I said this on last week's show when I was talking about the differences in how men and women understand certain topics. Like last week was respect. I talked about love before as well. Like men and women do not share mutual concepts of love. Men and women do not share mutual concepts of respect. Men and women also have different approaches to teaching in the schools, in our school systems. You want to know why we raise our boys like defective girls? Because women teach those boys as if they're little girls, or that those little boys should learn like little girls. That's the proper way. Remember what I said. It goes back to the gynocentric social order. The female experience is the correct experience. And if Johnny can't learn like Susie, then Johnny goes to timeout and we medicate him and we sedate him. And we say, Johnny, you have to go into that corner and you take your meds and then come back when you're ready to learn. Like the girls. Like a good egalitarian, like a good berry picker. So you do that for generation after generation, and you know what you get? You get this. You get where we're at right now. And the dominant social order is gynocentrism. Sorry, ladies, it is not patriarchy and has not been for a very long time. So let's cut the shit.